Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I want to talk about a couple of people I've been paying attention to on the NBA draft front. Of course, I've been making videos left and right. One of the videos that I made, I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, actually, uh, Friday. I think it got deleted, man. I was talking for like 45 minutes about a bunch of people. I don't think it's still there. In fact, I think that video had 2 likes on it, but it showed me the video was uploaded, and in the at the top of every upload that I had on my YouTube thingy, where you can look and see what videos I've uploaded, it said video failed on the upload. So I deleted where it said it had failed, and it deleted the video as well. So someone saw it, I believe, but the video is now gone. So I'm a little frustrated. I talked about like 4 different prospects there at an extent of length. So I don't find myself pleased with how that went, but we're gonna try with a different set of guys, and maybe I'll make the video again. Maybe I'll talk about those guys in a different way later on. But I've done a lot of homework since then, a whole lot. I went over Jeremiah Fears a little more. I have a different idea about him. Not different idea, but just an updated understanding about him after doing homework on him last night. Asa Newell, watched another video on him. I kind of looked over some guys I had already done homework on. Carter Bryant, I watched more footage of him. Just to kind of get a little more understanding. Comment Malu, I saw another video on him. So that's really what it is. Just trying to get a better understanding of some of these guys, so I can have a more educated opinion about where they should go in the draft. So I'm not going to get into those guys right now. I'm going to get into some guys we haven't talked about, because there were some names here that I was pretty impressed with. I don't know where they're going to land. But I do want to say that there's some guys here that we need to have some curiosity about in this draft. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the first name I want to talk about is Nicholas Advidalas. I think he's like a second-round guy projected. He looks pretty good as a shooter, man. Pure shooter. He is a phenomenal shooter. I'm not sure his length and his height. I've still got so much homework to do on a guy like that. In fact, I only saw like half of his highlights, which is like an 18-minute video, so like 9 minutes of highlights. He is a pure shooter, man. If you need stretch threes, a small forward, type of guy, this is somebody you pay attention to, man. I really like what I saw from him. He can also do some passing. Pretty physical player for that type of archetype. Did get to the line quite a bit, hit free throws pretty well, but his three-point shot, I mean, he just hits it off the catch, hits it off the dribble, hits it in motion. He just looks like one of the more pure shooters in a very scarce shooting draft. There's not too many pure shooters in this draft. Nicholas Advidalas is definitely one of them. So there are some teams out there who don't have shooting, who are going to have a second-round opportunity somewhere in the 35 to 45 range. I don't think he should be on the board for much longer after that. He should not go undrafted, in my opinion. If he does go undrafted, I need my Lakers to take a strong look at Nicholas Advidalas. But given the fact that teams need shooting so bad and there's so little of it in this draft, to the eye test, he might be the most talented shooter in the second round. In that range, he probably is the most talented shooter in that range. He may be the most talented shooter in the draft from behind the arc. I mean, I was very surprised to see just how fluid his shooting motion was and how pretty his shot was. Given the fact that I think I literally accidentally clicked on his video. I wasn't even interested in looking him up. I was looking for somebody else. Happened to click on it. Couldn't look away because the boy was just shooting an amazing three ball. So that's what I wanted to say. Definitely somebody needs to be drafted at the top of the second round, in my opinion. Shouldn't last past 45. He shouldn't even get that far, to be honest with you. This is a player that I think is going to gain some interest. Nicholas Advidalas. So that's the first name I wanted to say. The next name that I think is very interesting, in fact, this guy is probably somebody that you trade up to get in the second round if you're the Lakers. He looks like a Laker to me. Is Yannick Coden Niederhauser. There's not a whole lot of commentary about him yet. I know that we're now in June, so I'm assuming some of my favorite names of guys that I go to for draft reports will start talking about some of these guys in the second round, but the footage is just very limited out there in regards to that, but they do have like 31 minutes of highlights on him, as they do most prospects, and he looks like a real center, a real center that the Lakers should want in the mold of what it is that we tend to look for. This guy is going to be able to catch lobs. He's going to be able to block shots. He seems to have a high motor. And with the word that the Lakers may be losing our center, said he didn't like how he was utilized this year. Can't think of the homie's name right now for some reason. My mind's gone blank. But we're going to obviously need to address our center position with the assumption that not only are we limited with the center position, but may actually lose somebody. So, Yannick Konan Niederhauser, YKN, doesn't roll off the tongue, but this kid can really ball, and he's going to be a Laker fan favorite if we were able to get him. Now, I don't think he lasts past the 38 mark in the second round. I don't see him going in the first round, but I don't see him being on the board for longer than 8 picks in the second round. He's going to be gone, so you have to trade up to get him. But I think this is somebody the Lakers should be very serious about targeting. He looks the part, man. When you see him, you know what I'm talking about, Laker fans. He looks like he's already been here. So I would be surprised if the Lakers aren't targeting Yannick Konan Niederhauser. He has the length, he has the height, he has the ability to catch lobs. He looks like he's going to set strong picks. And he's a two-way center. I don't think he can stretch the floor any. I don't think I saw any three-point shots there. But the basic run, jump, dunk, run, jump, block, run, jump, rebound, energy, he has that. And in the second round, that's exactly the type of value you're hoping to find. So Yannick Konan Niederhauser had a lot of fun highlights. I only got through about, say, 10 to 15 minutes of his 31 minutes of highlights, but they were fun. He was fun to watch. A lot of energy, a lot of length, and I think he's somebody that teams that need a center should definitely be targeting early in the second round. Yannick Konan Niederhauser. All right, let's see. Abdul Thero, that was one of the guys I talked about. I think in the video that got deleted. I am enamored with his athleticism and strength. I just want people to take a look at Adou Thiero, also in that same range. If he's available in the second round, he needs to be targeted by teams that need strength, that have time to develop, that love defense and power and athleticism. So he was the most important player in the video that I believe got deleted. I'm excited about Adou Thiero. I do think it's going to take some years for him to develop, and he's coming in as a junior, so that's going to drop his draft stock, and I think that is perfect for the value that ultimately his archetype is going to bring. He is one of the most athletic players in this draft, if not the most athletic player in this draft, and I could say he's probably the strongest player in this draft too. His strength is out of this world. I'm a big fan of Adou Thiero, and I think there's probably about 25 teams that should go after him. Mostly teams that can develop him, that have the time to take their time. That's where he needs to go. So yeah, I was much more excited about him in the video that I made, but it's been a couple of days, and that was in the moment. But I'm telling you, this is somebody that I would target if I were any team that has the ability to just let a guy hatch for a couple of years, because he has athletic tools that are undeniable. All right, one of the underrated players in this draft for me, I'm late to the party as it pertains to this particular player, Maxime Renaud. And I don't think I've heard anyone say his name, so I'm definitely butchering it. Maxime Renaud. He went to Stanford. This is a pure scoring stretch four if I've ever seen one, y'all. Fantastic shooting percentages, good rebounder. He is so polished, man. One of the most polished players you're going to find at the power forward position in this draft. He can shoot the three very, very well. He has so many different nice footwork, post moves, turnaround hooks, left to right. He was just swishing everything. I mean, this was one of the most polished power forwards in the draft. Highly underrated in my opinion. I definitely think that he has a very high floor and probably a pretty strong ceiling, if I'm being honest with you, just based on his overall offensive package. He was just pure, man. You talk about certain people who have a lot of physicality, and you got guys that rebound, you got guys that have all these different strengths, and defensive this, and length that, this. When you talk about dudes that are just pure polished, you want a power forward that you can bring in that's just going to just splash all over the place. Maxime Renard is that. And I think he should be gone in this first round. I don't think he should even last to the second round. He should not make it to the second round. I seen that his draft stock has him somewhere around the Clippers at 30. If the Clippers can get him at 30, that's amazing value, in my opinion. Maxime Renard is ready to come in and score 20 points right now, in my opinion. Based on what I saw, I don't know if he can defend. I don't know if he can do a lot of stuff other than scoring, but for pure scoring, from a pure scoring perspective, I think this dude is fantastic. I really do. He's one of my favorite players in this draft already, just off of short homework and the highlights that I saw. He's another one of my picks, man. Maxime Renard. Take a look at him. If you're a scout out there, take some time, see what it is I'm talking about. This dude is a scoring player for sure. He can splash with the best of them. I think he's going to be a very, very good player. I don't know if he's a starter or not. I actually think he probably is going to develop to be a starter. But even so, if he comes off the bench, he's going to be an above-average bench guy, stretching the floor, being a good power forward with pure scoring prowess and pretty good motor from what I saw. So I'm big on Maxime Renard. I would take him somewhere between 20 and 35. I don't want him to fall to the second round based on how much I like him, but realistically, when you're judging these prospects as it pertains to who you think is going to go in the first or second round, it's not really about just in a nutshell how much you like those players. It's about what else other people are going to be looking at, and then from there, understanding the specifics of those teams in that draft range, the likelihood that they may be willing to trade those picks. A lot of those things go into who goes in the first round and ultimately who ends up dropping to the second round. But what I can say is, based on the type of talent that I've been paying attention to I haven't even done all the homework I want to do, if you have picks between 25 and 45, you're going to get excellent value because there's so many players in this draft that I think are going to prove themselves worthy to be in the NBA. This is a very good draft. Now that I've gotten deeper into the second round prospects and the end of first round prospects, it's a very good draft. And I think if these guys are developed properly, you're going to find many of them who are going to make it in the NBA overall. So Maxime Renard is another guy that I think is going to make it. And I was really impressed with what I saw. All right. Next up, I tried to do homework on Tamar Bates, but it wasn't a whole lot of footage out there on Tamar Bates. I think he's a second round guard prospect. But he seemed to be pretty interesting, man. So I just want to throw his name out there. It was only a little bit of highlights here and there. He does have some defensive prowess. He can score some buckets, get to the line, has some energy, strength, that kind of thing. I have so much more to learn about him, but I do think he's somebody we should circle as somebody who's not getting a lot of attention, who probably should be targeted in the second round. This is why I'm not unhappy now that I'm understanding what's going on in the second round and how many different pieces are in the second round. I think having a second round pick in this draft is excellent. I think having 2 second round picks in this draft is even better because no matter what, there's going to be some guys that could make your team. No matter what. I really believe that. And even in the undrafted markets, there are going to be some people out there that you're going to be able to pick up and you're going to like them in the undrafted market. So this is when you love being particularly a Laker fan because we tend to strike it rich in these situations. If our scouts are on top of things, they got plenty of people that they like outside of draft range. Plenty. I guarantee it. It's just one of those years. So, yeah, that's a thing. What else? Who else? Who's some other players that I paid attention to? LeBaron Philon is a name I just got through doing a little homework on. I still have more to do on him. He's a little shorter than, I think he's like only 6'3" or something like that, but he does average like a steal a game. He can shoot the three. It's a nice guard, man. He's a nice guard. I think he's a good second round prospect as well. So, that's just a name to throw out there to do a homework on. Noah Penda is a guy I liked. He's also another one of them dudes. I'm like, yo, Noah Penda is going to probably fall to the end of the first round. I think he's probably going to go somewhere within the 25 to 45 range in the first deep, mid-second round. But he's going to be a guy that's going to give you great value because he has fantastic length. He's a really good passer at the small forward position. Can probably play multiple positions. I think he could play some one from what I saw. He's just a really good orchestrator. Can kind of handle the ball some. gets to the line. But what I liked about him was just his overall feel for his teammates. This is a guy with, you know, the ability to just find people consistently in the pick and roll, you know, in all different types of situations. He's just going to make the good pass that's going to make his overall team better. When you look for connective pieces, there are teams out there who really need Noah Penda at the small forward position, who's just going to make everybody better, who's going to get to the line, score, has fantastic length. Another one of those French prospects. You know how on fire the French prospects have been with long arms at the small forward position. Those guys go like hotcakes in the draft these days. He is one of those players. Just like Noah Esingé, Noah Penda is also somebody that I think needs to be taken seriously as a wing from France with long arms who has the ability to be a guard. He reminded me of based on what he looked like, he kind of reminded me of Rick Fox. But Rick Fox did not have a strong handle. In fact, his handle was his weakness. I don't think Noah Penda has that issue at all. But he could, Noah can shoot the three. Noah gets people involved. Noah looks like a good connective piece. I think if you need him to start someday, he will be able to. You probably prefer him to be maybe your 6, 7, 8 man off the bench. But I think he's going to be able to develop to be a very smart team player that helps your team win. He looks like a winning piece. The length will be disruptive. He can rebound some. But I was impressed with the ball handling at that size, and I was impressed with the passing. Those were the two things that really impressed me. He seemed comfortable with the ball in his hands, even in traffic, driving at the rim. He tends to find his way to the rim, as necessary, and he just looks like he's going to be a very good player in this draft, Noah Penda. So I would circle him as somebody to pay very close attention to. I think the length and the fact that he's from France will probably get him out of there probably within the 25 to 30 range. I don't think he falls to the second round, to be honest with you, because those players really are on fire, and if you do your homework on him, you find out he's not all hype. And so that's what I like about Noah Penda. I don't think his name is prominent as Noah Esingé, but he and Noah Esingé have similar stuff going on with the length and their overall ability. I think Noah Esingé is supposed to be probably a top 15 guy, just got more of a sexy name, so to speak. But Noah Penda, I think, is somebody that you'd be sleeping on. I could see him go as early as 18, to be honest with you. I just think there's a good chance he goes outside of the lottery. There are a lot of players that people like in that range. So, like I said, anywhere between 18 and probably like 35, depending on what else people like. But I don't think he's going to be on the board for too long because he just has a lot of the different things that are really circled right now as surefire bets. And when you talk about a guy who's like 6'7" with like God knows how long the wingspan, probably like 7-foot wingspan or something like that, and he's a good connective piece that makes people better, I just think he fits in so many situations, and I'm a believer in Noah Penda. I think he's a very good value outside of the lottery. So that's really what it is, man. Like I said, I've been doing homework on so many different players, but the names that I think are so very important to remember are Noah Penda, Yannick Conan Niederhauser, Abdou Thiro, Maxime Renaud, and there was one more guy that we talked about as well, the shooter here, Nicolas Advidalas. Some second round energy here in this video. I think any of these guys can go in the first round, any of these guys can go in the second round. It's just how vast the amount of talent and maybe the desires of some of these teams may actually be. So that's what I wanted to say, man. Just wanted to give you all these videos as I continue to, prepare for my mock draft that will likely be coming within the next 2.5 weeks. I can tell you that I've gotten a much greater understanding of what's out there now. At this point, I feel much more confident that I know about a good 80% of the names that we keep hearing about, man. So, one more thing. Hansen Yang, the Chinese dude, he looks like he's gotten a significantly better conditioning than when he was evaluated within the video that I reported on. Now, I do think he was also one of the names that was in that video that I think got deleted. So, for all you know, you haven't heard me speak of Hansen Yang. But Hansen Yang, one of the issues I had with Hansen Yang, even though I like his ability to score in the paint and make plays for others is that he looked like he was a little too slow for my likings, too slow-footed, especially on the defensive end. He looked like he's really worked on his conditioning. He came into the combine looking twice as fast as he did in that footage. So I'm encouraged. If he's going to take care of his body, if he's going to get himself in the type of shape that it looked like he's headed into, it's going to change what you think of Hansen Young. Because Hansen Young, my issue with him is just he's not very agile, barely moves side to side. He looked like it hurts for him to move side to side in the video footage that I saw. He has lost weight. He looks twice as quick, and that makes all the difference. So Hansen Young is definitely somebody to where if he continues on the path he's on, if he's in the type of shape that he looks like he's going to be in by the time draft comes around, I can see him going in the first round. So keep an eye open for Hansen Young. Interior scoring threat, but overall passing gift from really everywhere. And he can handle the ball a lot better than a lot of guys who have that back to the basket, bruiser type of thing. He's used to being triple team, double teams, all different types of stuff. So he's an extremely, extremely intriguing prospect to me. I've heard people, all over the place in regards to him. I've heard people who love him. I've heard of people who are not so sure. But at the end of the day, the footage that I saw from him in the combine tells me that he is taking his body seriously, and that is a huge step in the right direction for this particular prospect from China. So that's what I wanted to say, man. I'm gonna continue to do homework. I still have to get myself reassociated, I guess, with some of these names that I've already done homework on. It's just too many names, so you want to get a zeroed in understanding who these people are. But I can tell you, this is a good draft. From top to bottom, all the way to the bottom, this is a good draft. BDL 44, I thank y'all for watching. Wow.